Hello everyone, it's Jack and Fraser here from Cultaholic, still in front of the Hydro in Scotland, lovely Glasgow, Scotland, ahead of Clash at the Castle tonight.
Yeah.
This is video number 2 of the news today. Check out our earlier news video if you haven't seen it already on this very channel. But now, Fraser, we're going to talk about the AEW references that were made on WWE television. We were lucky enough to be there at SmackDown last night, and we were shocked in the crowd.
Oh my God.
This came during the segment between Cody Rhodes and AJ Styles, a very heated exchange ahead of the I Quit match tonight. And I guess the point was that Cody was saying, you'll never make me say I quit. I don't say I quit. I'm a big hero.
Yeah, he overcomes everything.
And then what did AJ Styles say?
Well, AJ was like, hey, you went to New Japan, or you quit WWE, you went to New Japan, you quit New Japan. You went to Ring of Honor, and you quit Ring of Honor.
Everyone's waiting for it by this point. Is he going to say,
oh, you started a company with your mates, and you quit that too.
Yeah.
And the whole crowd sort of, yeah, they knew what was going on. They were going, ooh. And I remember turning to Owen and it being like a
big moment. Yeah,
it was
definitely
a big moment. They make a reference to AEW, but not quite. But everyone knows it's AEW.
And I think it's quite important the fact that they didn't overtly say AEW. I think it still indicates that they see them as their most direct competitor.
It's competition,
perhaps.
right?
Yeah.
You don't want to be promoting them.
They said New Japan, they said Ring of Honor by name, but they didn't say AEW. But they did mention it though, and I think it's an interesting balance. They don't want to mention them directly by name, indicating that they're still a competitor, but they're not necessarily afraid of mentioning them on TV.
Yeah, but the thing is, they didn't. Cody then also made a second reference to them, so he did acknowledge what AJ was saying, and he was like, I didn't quit. I just bet on myself. He's like, yes, I left WWE. Yes, I left New Japan Pro Wrestling. Yes, I left Ring of Honor. Yes, I started a company with my best mates, and I bet on myself. And look where I'm at. I've got the North Star of professional wrestling. He said,
he did.
The North Star of professional wrestling. And I thought it was a really, really great promo. Between them.
It was intense. It was fiery. And it really set up the match tonight, which I'm very much looking forward to.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, there was a surprise return at the end of SmackDown as well. We had the main event of Kevin Owens taking on Solo Sikoa. It was a very tense exchange earlier between Solo and Paul Heyman, where Solo said, hey, if I lose tonight to Kevin Owens, I'm coming after you, Paul. Heyman was terrified.
Heyman sells it really well every single time.
It really fed into the finish of the match as well, with Kevin Owens almost getting the win, hitting the stunner on Solo. 1, 2, Paul Heyman pulling Solo's leg onto the ropes to save his own skin, basically. And Solo going on to get the victory. And then the Bloodline were all beating Kevin Owens down afterwards. And then a big pop to end the show. Randy Orton made his return.
Randall Keith made his entrance to a huge pop. The whole crowd was singing voices. Randy really took his time enjoying and savouring the moment.
Yeah, he did, yeah.
He loved it. He was enjoying everything about that.
Hitting RKO and Tangaloa.
Yeah, he was gearing up Solo for that RKO, but then he did turn around, hit it on Tangaloa. I just enjoyed how much fun he was having.
Yes.
It really made the moment for the fans as well. Glasgow obviously loved seeing Randy Orton. We didn't think he was going to be there. He has been out of action since King and Queen of the Ring at the end of May. So this is the first time we've seen him in a while. And I like the idea that Kevin Owens didn't know he was there and he was just hiding on the plane. It's like, oh, don't tell Kevin.
They had a nice reunion to end the show. Then we had a bit of a dark segment afterwards, which was kind of just Randy Orton celebrating. He told the crowd at one point, I flipping love you guys.
Yeah, he did say that.
Took his shirt off and everyone went, oh my God.
He took his time on that.
Woo!
Oh, he took his time on that, and then Kevin on the other turnbuckle was like, "No, I'm not taking."
Did
mine
he
off.
do that? That's
funny.
He
was like, no, it's not my thing.
And then that fed into kind of an extended dark segment at the end of SmackDown. We had not one but 2 extra non-televised matches, and we're going to run through what happened in those right now.
Yeah, they announced one ahead of time. That was Drew McIntyre versus Sheamus. That was like the big selling point because it's Drew and Sheamus, and we'll get on that in a minute. It was a lot of fun.
Yes.
They also had Sami Zayn versus Ludwig Kaiser, who Ludwig came out in a Germany top because of the Euros football match that was going on, and then he declared to the crowd it was 3-0 by using his hand gestures, and that got some of the biggest heat of the night.
Yeah, obviously
3-0.
It ended even worse.
Yeah.
I like to imagine that Ludwig Kaiser was rushing through that match so he could get backstage and carry on watching the match.
It was. Yeah, they had a lot of fun. Sammy obviously went over in that match. It wasn't for the Intercontinental title, but both guys got a pretty decent reception, all things considered.
Oh yeah, especially Sammy, big babyface pop for him. And then it led into the main event of the night, non-televised of course, Drew McIntyre versus Sheamus. This was like a good-natured match.
It was just guys being dudes, wasn't it?
We noticed they had quite a long match, but a lot of it was, they didn't take any unnecessary risks with Drew having this big match tonight and everything. They had, it started with a chop battle when we noticed that something was up because Drew chopped Sheamus at one point, and he took a Shawn Michaels versus Hulk Hogan bump out of the ring, and Drew just sort of went,
all right, let's do it.
Really
Here
strong.
we go. The ref kept laughing at whatever they were saying in the ring. We're not quite sure.
Yeah.
They did a devastating table spot where they took the top off the table. They both climbed up. It looked like Drew was maybe going to go for a future shock, but no, he just chopped Sheamus.
He fell off the table.
It was great.
So
it was
landed on his feet and collapsed to the floor. It was great.
Great banter.
Great banter between two great lads. They ended it, interestingly, by Sheamus hit the bro kick. Drew kind of understandably kicked out. Drew hit the Claymore and let Sheamus kick out of that.
Yeah, he did.
And then a second Claymore with the big countdown and everything to get the crowd into it.
They
and that got the win. Yeah.
Sheamus also turned heel at the start of the match, he got on the mic like after the first few minutes and was like, does anyone actually understand what a word these Scottish fans are saying? I'm the one that's understood here. Got a little bit of heel heat, and then at the end put over Drew big, was like, this is his moment. The Irish and the Scots were all mates. We all like to go to the pub together, don't we?
The English guys.
Yep, definitely the English too.
We're part of the gang.
And they had a lovely moment in the ring. We're sort of reminiscing about their time growing up in the business together. Drew obviously reminiscing about his time in Scotland and saying Big D's Tartan Army's going to be partying all night. Yeah,
it was a nice moment with Sheamus putting over Drew and then Drew putting over Sheamus. But then, as you say, after that, Sheamus left the ring and Drew it was like a rallying cry. Yeah. And all the crowd got on board, and it really made us feel coming out like, they've got to give him the belt tonight.
I'm feeling good, Jack. I am feeling good.
Okay.
I'm feeling good.
I think... Oh, I don't know if I want to make a prediction on the news. I think they will...
We'll save that. We'll save it. Elsewhere, we're going to talk a little bit about TNA, because TNA Talent is reportedly expected to feature in a quite important WWE match next week. We're talking, of course, about the NXT 25-man Battle Royal to determine the next number one contender for Trick Williams' NXT Championship. It is a big one. Fightful Select reporting that there is talent expected to be there. We're not sure on the names, but they are expected to be involved in that. But there was certain teases on WWE programming in regards to Julia and Joe Hendry. And now a lot of people obviously think, that could be improvised. That was Vic Joseph, who could be doing whatever he wants on the commentary. No. These were planned.
No, Fightful Selective report that these were indeed planned comments from Vic Joseph. Certainly the Hendry ones, possibly a Julia one as well, as you say.
Possibly.
And we'll have to wait and see what happens. Joe Hendry has kind of been a subplot of this weekend here in Glasgow. Even though he's not here, even though he was in Chicago last night for TNA Against All Odds.
Yeah.
But he did appear, as you might have seen from our good friend Kenny McIntosh's Twitter account. We saw that Joe Hendry appeared on a billboard. He did an Adam Pacitti.
He did do an Adam Pacitti. He took a page out of Adam's book. The billboard is actually, we can't see it on camera, but it is only just over there, just past the hotels round the corner from us. It's so like right by the Hydro. As anyone's walking in or driving in, you will see Joe Hendry's face.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
He's a marketing wizard.
Oh my God, that man knows how to make himself appear at places.
He really does. So that's very exciting. I'm very interested to see if Joe Hendry is one of those entrants in that NXT Battle Royal next week.
Yeah.
They've been zooming in on Joe Hendry signs in the crowd and stuff. I would be very shocked if he wasn't, I suppose.
I feel it's got to happen one of these days. If it's not this week, it's going to be soon.
Yes, I would say so too. And finally, a former world champion could be nearing a return to the ring. We're talking about AEW's Hangman Adam Page, who's been absent recently. According to Fightful Select, not due to injury, but due to personal reasons. He's just taken some time off from the ring. But now it seems like he could be returning. They say maybe within the next month's time, if not by early July, which is only a few weeks away.
It's not that far away.
It's not that far,
mate. It's not that far away. It's around the corner. I'm excited to see what Hangman Page does when he comes back. Will he come back as that character that was so hell-bent on ruining Swerve's whole career at this point?
And now that Swerve's the champion, that's even more compelling.
It is, but does he maybe go for the Elite, considering they fired him in storyline or suspended him in storyline and fired him from the Elite? There's so many different things he could do. What does he do at Wembley?
Yep.
That's the other big question. If he's coming back in July, you'll have about 6 weeks to build to that big Wembley match. Last year he was in a tag match. What's he going to do this year?
I think as well that this news has made me realise that quietly Hangman has been quite a big miss for the AEW roster.
Has been, yeah.
It sounds like a weird thing to say because they've got such a big roster and people are always fighting to get on TV and everything. But Hangman Adam Page always seems to really make the most of it, whether as a face or as a heel. He's always someone who gets a reaction out of the crowd, puts on good matches, and I think he will be a very welcome return for AEW.
He feels like the heart of AEW. It's when he's not on screen, it is missing that one element of like, he's the guy.
Yeah.
He's AEW. And whenever he comes back, if he comes back as a face and goes for the Elite, you've got that insta mega babyface.
I think I would like that a lot, but I think it's being reported or alluded to that it's expected, not guaranteed, but it's expected that he'll continue this heel run for now, which makes sense, I suppose.
Maybe that's the title match. Maybe Ospreay doesn't win at Forbidden Door, and you do Swerve Hangman.
I really want it to be. I don't know if they'll do it, but I said this on a pitches video, and if it comes true, I'll be really excited. Ospreay wins the belt, and then Pac's in the Owen Hart tournament, and the winner gets a title shot. And if Pac versus Ospreay at Wembley, and we were saying on the podcast they need a half Wembley, like at a football match, and half Northerners and half Southerners, and Pac wouldn't win, but it would be good for the duration of the match.
We'd have banter. We'd have a great time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm the one in charge of this video, aren't I? Anyway, that was the second news video of the day. Leave your thoughts and opinions in the comments section down below. Apologies if you could hear that squawking bird throughout this video.
A fan in the tree up there.
I know, but hopefully it didn't pick up too clearly on the microphones. Leave your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below, and check out our first news video of the day if you haven't seen it already. We'll be back with more Clash at the Castle content later on. I've been Jack, this has been Fraser, and we'll see you very soon.